Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to Coffee and Craps. It's John with Pro Craps. I see Joe's here this morning. First one in the group. Good morning. How you doing, man? Great interview with Brian yesterday, by the way. That was really awesome. I'm really impressed. I can't say how impressed I am about that table build. When I first met you actually through Facebook, I was like, man, that table build was amazing. Like I built a table. I was proud of it. It's nothing to the craftsmanship that you showed in that thing. It's fantastic. And I really love the fact that you kind of highlighted, like, what do I do next? Like Brian asked you, like, why the tournament? You're like, well, I got to do something. I need to have content, right? And content it's hard for everybody who doesn't have a YouTube channel. It is hard to do this. It's hard for me to do it every day. Like I'm rocking this thing every single day. It's hard to find content. What do you talk about? What's the strategy that you run? How do you make this interesting for everybody? And I think that Joe doing that tournament was cool because A, it gave purpose to what you were doing, and B, it gets us to see strategies under roles, right? I think we do all these strategies, like I do every day, and it's like, well, 5 or 6 roles, whatever. I kind of show the strategy how it works, but it's not a real test of the strategy under live fire. So what you did with the tournament was really highlight them under live fire, which I think is good. And like you said with Brian, I love that it was double elimination because that is the way to tell, right? Yeah, you can catch fire once, but having to win multiple times, I think, is the important thing. So I think that was a great thing to do, and I'm looking forward to seeing what you've got in store for us next. So great. We're here. It's Friday, the 19th of November, 2021. So I give the date on these shows because those of you here that are live, great. I love having you here live, but some folks are going to watch this in a week or a month or 6 months and not going to know what the hell we're talking about. So by giving context on the date. And I say that because we're getting ready for the big fundraiser. So next week is Thanksgiving week, obviously. We'll do a show Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It'll be lighthearted shows next week. I think I'm just going to go play a little bit. I don't want to get into hardcore teaching on a holiday week. I really want to get ready for the big 24-hour show. So what I probably do next week is talk to you about what's going to happen on the 24-hour Crapsathon, but also maybe kind of like test run a couple of things with you and just kind of get your feedback here live. The nice thing is, the 35 of us that come together live every morning have become, I think, pretty tight, which is super cool. So as I work through ideas for the Crapsathon next week, I'll be looking for lots of feedback. As a matter of fact, I may do a show on Wednesday where it's just nothing but feedback from y'all, and we'll just talk the whole way through it and get some good ideas rolling there. Brian and Joe will need to talk to you guys later on, just kind of calling you out specifically here. We got to get timing scheduled for if you can help, if you're going to be on, what times and what the plan's going to be. So I'll connect with you guys later. So yeah, Waylon, nobody's table. Look, I mean, unless you bought one at the casino or from a casino, nobody's table's near that nice. I mean, that's honestly, I mean, that is some serious craftsmanship there. I'm so impressed by that. Anyway, we're talking about house money today. We've been talking about house money all week. And as you know, I don't like the words house money. And I mean, it sounds trite to say this, right? But it's your money. It's always, if it's not in your rack and it's on the table, it's flat, it's your money. And so the way I like to describe this whole concept is to talk about reinvesting your profits and taking the money that you won and reusing it in some way. Now with money you win, you can do a couple of things. And we know this, right? You can take the money you won and rack it and just keep it like it's yours. You worked hard for it, keep it. And even one roll, surviving one roll after the come out is working hard. If you can survive one roll and make money, that's work. And don't minimize how hard it is to win money on even one roll. And you watch me every day here, 0.7 out, all the time. I'm throwing the immediate sevens, trying to show you a strategy and I 7 out. It happens, right? So putting in work and reaping the benefits of that is good. So don't minimize the fact that even one hit is a profit. That said, when you want to make extra money, when you want to pile on the profits, so to speak, that's where playing with house money comes in. And that term playing with house money just means you're playing with almost no risk, right? It's like, it wasn't your money to start with, even though it's your money now. Put that money at risk and you're no worse for wear at the end of it. So that's the concept of it. We've talked about that in a number of ways this week, right? We focused a little bit, I think heavily, which with good reason, on regression strategies. I like a regression strategy because a regression strategy sort of starts high, it's a little bit more initial risk, but it completely funds your next strategy, generally speaking, on one hit, maybe two hits. In a regression, you're in the mindset already. If you're going to go, I don't know, 160 across and regress down to 32 or regress down to 64 after that first hit, you're playing the same game, just at two different levels, and your brain doesn't have to switch gears. That's a great way to play. Yesterday, we talked a little bit about growth strategies and sort of going from here to there, but growing your strategy as you go and funding yourself across through smaller size or less exposed bets. Today, we're going to talk about using house money in what I call a so that strategy. So a so that strategy, let me pull it up here for you. I view a so that strategy in that you're playing one way to earn money so that you can play a different way. And generally speaking, a so that strategy is a very short-lived thing. It's one roll, max two rolls. And the differentiator between a so that strategy and a regression strategy is, like I said, regression is typically the same bets. It's 110 inside down to 44 inside. It's the same bet, just different levels. A so that strategy is a complete change or a complete shift in what you're trying to do. And Brian is good at these. Brian, Hawaii Crapshooters, has a lot of so that strategies. And I think that's kind of what drew us together as friends way back. We think a lot the same way. And what you do is you work backwards. I think the most important thing with a so that strategy is that you're working backwards from where you want to play. It doesn't matter what you start with. It matters how you want to play. And then you say, okay, how can I work backwards from that and earn the amount of money I need to play that way? And that's, I think, the crux of a so that strategy. And an example would be, just to use general words here, if I want to play on a $10 table 44 inside, and there are, of course, many $10 tables still in the world. If that's your way to play, you want to play the inside strategy, great. It's a fine way to play, start, and win. The question you have to ask is, how do I earn 44 bucks? What's the best way, the fastest way to earn $44, at a minimum $44? Then you start looking around, go, okay, what is the one strategy that we know that you can win 44 bucks quickly? Well, one way to do it is the quarter pounder with ease from Brian, right? That strategy is designed to win you a quarter, right? You do that, two hits, you got your 50 bucks, and now you're playing inside, right? You could do a higher level. You can do the Hawaiian horn, the big giant one, go out there for like 390 or 290, whatever it is, and take one shot and win 50 bucks. That's a fine way to do it. You can go with a big inside bet, like a 220 inside or something, win enough money to come down and play. But the point is, you work backwards. You say, what do I need to play the way that I want to play? Question number one. Question number two, how do I earn that money in one or two hits at the most? Because otherwise you're out there just risking your money. Generally speaking, if your so that strategy is more than one or two shots, it's a strategy of itself. And that's a thing to remember. And also, as we go through this today, I want you to look at the profits that we're making. I'm actually going to play this today. I'll do like an Iron Cross type of thing today. I think the Iron Cross, it speaks well to this because, yeah, well and not so well. We'll talk about that in a minute. The Iron Cross does get you money on every single roll. So you're not wasting a roll. I think with a so that strategy, I don't want to waste a roll. And as an example, if I did let's just go to the table. It's better with chips anyway. Let me turn the camera on. I'll walk back over here. Give me a second to get the camera going. And like I said, I want to be out of the so that system quickly. Okay. So what if you did this? And we'll just do something. We'll put a point of 9 here. Doesn't matter. And we'll do a $30 6 and $30 8. Okay, which we know pays 35 bucks on a hit. That 35 can become 32 across. Nice and simple, right? Or it could become, more of an inside play. But the point is, when you do it like this, that's a so that strategy. I'm going to play 30 bucks or 60 bucks on the tight end side so that I can win 32 and then do something different with it. The problem with this way is that you're limited here to two numbers. And it could take you 4 hits to get those two numbers to hit, 4 rolls to get those two numbers to hit. And therein lies the problem with it. And that's why I think people lean on I'm looking at the chat, the 5. People lean on things like the Iron Cross because you don't waste any rolls. Although the Iron Cross is a bleed, right? It's a definite bleeder strategy, right? if we did this, right, and went with 85 inside, 5, 6, and 8, and a $10 field, you're bleeding each time, right? This is going to hit you money each time, but not enough to really make any progress, right? Because and again, I look at this when I evaluate the Iron Cross as the feeder of a sow that strategy. I look at, what does the field win me? Can I do anything with the field? And if you did, the field could win you and get you to the 9. It could win you a second time and get you. It takes 3 hits to get where you want to be. It's too long. It's too much exposure in terms of time. So the better way to view a sow that strategy using an Iron Cross is to really bump that thing up and say, well, if our goal here is 44 inside, what wins you $50? That's going to be our thing to think about here. So you might start with a little bit higher level and go to 70, right? $60 6 and 8 and a $50 5, all of which win you $70. 50, 60, $70 minus whatever's in the field. Okay, so if the field has a quarter in it, now what you end up winning is this. Your net is going to be 25, 35, $45, and that's how you work backwards from where you want to be. You look at, what am I going to win up here? It's going to be 70. What am I going to lose down here? It's going to lose a quarter. So your net gain is $45, which does fund your 44 inside play with 1 hit. And that's the genesis of the way that I think Brian has developed most of his stuff that works off the option 70. Now, the option 70 takes that a level up because the option 70 requires $70. He wants to play 66 inside, not 44 inside. But the thought process, the getting there, the goal is the same, okay? And that is the goal. The goal has got to be, how do we win enough money in 1 hit, 2 hits max to get to our goal of gameplay? And if the gameplay is 44, you got to win $44. Quickly, quickly, quickly. Get the hell out of there, right? That's the whole thing. So with that said, let's go ahead and play it out a little bit. My coffee down here. Hopefully, I won't whack the coffee cup on the new tablecloth, and we'll see if we can't survive that. But I think we'll go ahead and play it this way at this level. And what I'm going to do here, so this will be $60 6 and 8, 50 on the 5, and a quarter in the field. We'll do it at that basic level. And again, these will all win you $70, but you'll lose a quarter. If you were to replace the quarter in your rack, it's 45. We go to 44 inside. And all we're going to do is get to 44 inside, okay? I'm not going to play the 44 inside. I'm not going to play it out. We're going to go ahead and run how many times, can I set a point, get the hit, and roll inside. What you do with your 44 inside, that's a matter for a different show. That's going to be what you want to do based on your aggression level. But let's go ahead and roll this out. And what I'm going to do is just keep track. I'm going to keep track with white chips. I'll do it. I don't know. I mean, I'll do it over here or something. How many times we survive that 1 hit to get our 44 inside. I just want to track the number of times we get it to work. So here's the puck being off. We're going to come out, and I'm actually going to set today. So it might take me a little bit longer to get the dice flying here. But I'm going to set the 2V and throw Yuri style because I'm working on landing zone. You might as well watch me fail because that was off the back wall and off the table. First shot of the day was the worst shot of the day. Let's try it again. Let's try coming out one more time here. Maybe it's because it's my 3rd cup of coffee and I'm just way too strong for my own good here. Let's try and get that landing zone figured out. There we go. A little better. All right, so our point's going to be 8. And again, playing the Iron Cross this way, I'm bypassing the come out roll. Now, if you've listened to the podcast, you'll know that that's becoming less and less of a thing you can do. So as I'm getting set here, realize that, at least in the state of Washington, which I know is not the bellwether state for the country, we are seeing more and more at our tables where you have to play the pass line or the don't pass line on every shooter. Right now, what they're doing is they're forcing us to play the pass line or don't pass line on the shooter before you. Otherwise, you don't get to shoot. That's a new requirement. Here's the dice are out. hit the back wall again into the rack. Let's call that a no roll. Anyway, you have to bet a line bet to be able to shoot from the shooter before you, which kind of is a new thing. And I feel like that's going to become the norm. That's going to become, that's a 549. That's going to become the new normal. And I think that you're going to see that they're going to require line bets on every shooter soon. I feel like that's coming. So beware of that. Having a minimum line bet, they're going to make you declare a side on every single shooter, which kind of sucks. There's a 9, right? So we hit the 9, which would have been a field win. I'm just going to mark with a white chip. Let's mark it. We'll mark it down here on the pass line, the wins, and the don't pass, the losses, okay? So one time we would have survived and gotten a 44 across. I'm not gonna roll the 44 across out. I'm gonna leave the bets showing. And again, we're just gonna track the number of times that we got it to work. I'm gonna roll now until I 7 out. If you wanna count the hits, you can. We can mark them up if you'd like. We'll mark up the hits. There's a 6, there's a 9. Just to sort of keep track of how you would have done during the roll, but that's not important here. What's important here is not the strategy that you play after you get there. The importance here is getting to the strategy that you want to play. There's a second hit on the 6. That's a hard 6, by the way. A little short there on the roll. There's an 8. I think it's interesting that the days where I say, you know what, the strategy doesn't matter, I'm just going to kind of roll stuff out. I actually rolled okay. There's your 7, 7 out. Okay, so felt like an okay roll. We got a point of 8. We actually did hit, actually, you know what, I screwed up. We hit the point. That would have been a come out roll. My bad there. But look at, you know, between the 7 and the initial number, only 5 rolls, right? Between the 8 and these 4, that was it, a total of 5. Short roll length. Let's go ahead and get the puck off. And I believe, rewinding my brain, check me in the chat. I think I hit the point of 8 and then it was a 7 come out roll. So I'm not going to count. I'm not going to go ahead and say that we 7'd out there. We actually hit the point and we're still coming out if my memory serves right. So let's go ahead and come out to a new number here. And this will be another test of the strategy. There's a yo. Still coming out. There's an 8. Okay, new point's going to be 8. So let's check now. Again, we're going to reset the iron cross at the high level, and we'll say to ourselves, can we bet the high level iron cross one time, establish ourselves as a $44 profit so that we can play? Let's see if we can't beat the 7 here on the come out roll. That's perfect, actually. Look at that. We got a midnight, which on my table plays triple. So there's a second time where it would have worked. That's good. So far, so good. We've done a strategy so that we can play something else. Now, if your strategy was not the iron cross, let's say you were going to do like a 160 inside to cover yourself, this time here you would have lost, because the 160 or 160 across to fund something lower, you would have gotten no juice on the field in that 12, and then I would have 7'd out immediately. So we saved ourselves. We got through it that time, but our 44 would have got lost. And again, so that, right? We played the first hit so that you can play risk-free, and when the bad thing happens, like it did in that last roll, it doesn't hurt you. Here we are. New point's going to be set to 5. Can we get one hit so that we get 44 to go inside and bet the way we want to bet? Can we beat the 0.7 out right here? Money shot. Yes, we got the 9. So 3 times we have beat the system, which is great. Do it a couple more times. I'm going to roll here until we 7 out on this shooter, and then we'll reset it again. There's a 6. So 6 and a 9. All right, here we go. That's a better looking throw. Another 6. Or, I'm sorry, there's a 5, not a 6. That's a 5. We rolled. Okay, here we go. There's an 8. 5, 3, 8. That's her out. There's the 5. Second 5 of the run here. Okay, we're at a point in this roll, by the way, if you're actually playing along with and you're looking inside, we just broke probability here. We had to come out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, we're actually about to, if we get a non-7 here, we're in a position where we've broken probability, which is good. You look for those rolls. They don't come along very often. And when you can get one, you know, think about your inside strategy and how you're going to play that. There's a 9, which is the point being made. There's the 9. Great. Puck's off. Now what I'm going to do here is this. We're going to go ahead and clear the board. I realize that I'm on the same shooter, but I want to keep making the same point, which is let's go ahead and reset a point. We'll pretend that we're going to reset the inside or reset the iron cross and see if we can't beat that come out or beat that next roll. Here we go. We're going to come out to a new point. Short roll, 7. It would have been called a no roll at the house, by the way. That's that second die there. One thing about the this cork surface that I've got, the cork surface rather, is that the dice will sometimes catch in the grooves of the cork and never reach the back wall. They'll actually check up like that. Here's a 10. Our new point's going to be 10. And here is the time for the money shot. Put our 44 bucks out there. Or our 90 bucks out there. Can we beat one roll so that we can play 44 inside? And we have a 9. Good. We did it again. That's 4 times. Let's mark it up. 4 times that we beat it. Point's going to be 9. Let's see how quickly I can roll through this to get our. I want to make sure I roll through to produce the actual 7. There's going to be a 4, so that we're seeing the right probabilities here as we go through. That's a 4. Those got exploded. All right, here we go. There's another 4. That's awesome. I know somebody in the audience is very excited about seeing 2 4s, because 2 4s means money if you're playing the outside numbers only, right? Here we go again. That was a sweet throw right there. Hard 8. That one just felt like salted butter coming out of the hands right there. That thing landed perfectly. Loved it. Just takes a few shots here to kind of get yourself warmed up where you feel like you're kind of landing where you want to land. There's an 8. There's 7 8s on the end here. Okay, again, this roll here, we're at the cusp. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 rolls about to break probability. That was a bad roll. They were rolling sideways. It's an 11. Yo, 11, field winner. But again, at this point, you're not in the field. You're playing inside. There's a 3. The shocker. 1, 2, 3. I'll do this till one more. We'll get to 5 shots at it. There's another 8. Good rolling here, John. Looking good. This is actually a moneymaker. We've exceeded the expectations and we're making money here. That's great. Another 8. Woo! That 4 8s. That is 4 8s, folks. If you're the pressing type, where are you right now? If you're playing along at home and you're pressing that 8 up, you should be, if you started at 30, you should be at least 150, maybe even 180 right now. There's the 9. That's our point. And we're off. That was a good roll. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. That's 7, 8, 9. That's 10 rolls. Technically speaking, we're still going. We have the dice. We're going to clear this board, though, and do a new come out cycle. We'll establish a new point here and see if, once again, we can beat Big Red here in the come out and get our 44 so that. So here we go. There's the point of 4. Our iron cross is set. Can we beat it? Let's go. We did. We actually got the point on the first hit there. So there's 5 times out of 5. Now that's probably not normal, right? 5 times out of 5 that we actually got it through. So Brian, you're option 70 here, right? If we're doing this, you're all the way across, right? You got your 66 inside or your 44 inside with your hard way 4 and 10 paid for 5 times in a row. Okay, let's do one more. That actually went pretty quick. And then I want to talk about something I think that's really important and possibly missed as I'm doing it. Let's get our new point here. Let's establish another new point. Let's go 6 for 6, then we'll have a nice conversation. There's going to be the come out. Point will be 8. Okay, there's the 8. Now, let's get rolling here. We're 44 inside. We have achieved the goal. No, not yet, actually. We have to still, we got to beat the PSO here one time, and then we'll have a nice chat. Did we do it? We did it. There's a 5, 1, 6. So we beat it 6 out of 6 times. It's freaking awesome. All right, let's roll to the 7, and then we'll sit and chat. Here we go. Let's get a 7 here at some point. Ooh, the shocker again. 1, 2, 3. Shock me. Let's mark that up. There's a 5. 4, 1, 5. Nice soft landing there. 7 out. The landing felt good though. I'm starting to be able to pound it right here. All right, 7 out. Crappy roll, right? 4 shots, four money hits up in here. Actually, one of them was the shocker, so it doesn't even count. You had 3 score hits, and if you're not doing same bet, you're losing. Now we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times that we beat the deal, right? We had 6 times where I'll put it here, we can see them. 1, 2, 3, 5, 6 times where we beat the 7 so that we could play something else. 6 times. One of those times was a good shot. One of those times I had like 10 rolls. And you probably would have made some money on me, which is good. If I'm the shooter, you made money on that one roll. The other ones were all relatively short, 4, 5, 6 rolls, probably not making a ton of cash in there. But you got to play 44 inside on this shot with this strategy 6 times. And we tell you to bring enough money to play your strategy how many times? At least 10 times. You're trying for that one shooter out of 10 that's going to break the system. What does this cost you to get out? To do this, it costs you 100, 75, 85, 95, $200 essentially to get out on this strategy. You need $2,000 to come to the casino with to play that strategy at the simple $44 goal level 10 times. $2K to do that 10 times. And you're taking 10 shots at it saying, can I do this 10 times? And one out of those 10 shooters will go off for more than 10 or 15 so I can press up and hit the home run. That's the goal here, right? Remember this, each one of these white chips, each one of those white chips won you how much money? 25, 35, $45. Every white chip that I got out with when I beat the 7 on that initial hit, won $45 to fund that 44 across. And I don't know about you, but my math isn't great, but 45 times 6, that's about $300. That's 240 for the 4 times 6, right? Plus the extra change here. That's about $300. Let's actually do the math. What does my math say? Somebody help me out here. What's 45 times 6? That's $270. Okay, I'll take 270 all day long. right? So remember that even though we did this to show you what a so that strategy looks like, at the end of this thing, let's go ahead and get back to I can look at you again. At the end of this thing, what we ended up with was, technically speaking, profit that we could have taken back with us, right? Our so that strategy, turn the light off. Our so that strategy did fund our gameplay 6 times. Maybe you would have funded it all 10 times, who knows, right? You would have had 10 shots at a home run. If you just did the one hit and racked it and waited and pulled back, there's 270 in there in your rack. So remember that, like as you're doing these so that strategies, and it's a lot of risk to come down and play the way you want to play, that's a great way to go for the home run. But at the same time, that one hit, if you rack it, and just wait and be okay with a small profit frequently like that, you'd have been in great shape right there. And I think that's an important thing for you to remember, right? All of that, and you're right, Skill says all this money exposed for 2 hits making you crazy. Why can't I hit with this 67? You're right, and I get what you're saying. I'm just giving you an idea here, right? And I don't care what the strategy that you play is, right? Whether it's something to press up to come back down, whatever system you want to play so that you can play something else, it doesn't matter, right? It really, like I said, I'm just giving you hopefully food for thought today. Like as you build your strategies out, the thing you got to do is work backwards from, I want to play 44 inside. I want to play 66. I want to play 64 across. I want to play 110 across. I want to play 320 across. Whatever it is that you want to play does not matter. What matters is how you get there. And you can get to your gameplay 2 ways. If I want to play 44 inside, I have 2 ways to get there. 1, play a strategy like this with a decent amount of risk to earn enough money to play at one time, right? That's option 1. Bigger risk, but you're playing for free. Option 2, pull 44 bucks out of your rack every single time. Bring 440 bucks, drop 44 out there 10 times in a row, and, say a Hail Mary and hope that you get the thing done. There's 2 ways to do it, right? I think a lot of us look at like, how can I fund my way of playing for free? And that's, I think, what we're trying to get done is that. So I think that's sort of the genesis of this talk here, I think, is definitely finding ways to fund yourself to play. And I think that's sort of what Brian preaches all the time. And the Skill, I'll do this again. Skill has the 66 to 88, and then you come down to 44. That's the regression strategy, right? And that's what we talked about on the other day, right? It works really good. But I use that strategy to kind of highlight a regression system, which is like going above table minimum, you're pressing up and coming down. Perfect way to regress and get to where you want to be. That represents, Dylan, the way that you would say, I'm playing the same strategy just at different levels. With what I'm doing here and what Brian proposes all the time is to play one thing and completely flip into something else. So that's why it's iron cross and then turning it into an across bet. Iron cross turning into an inside bet. Hell, I've done, and we can go back to the table again. Let's look at this one more time. Let's go back here and say, here's my table view. What if we did the same thing? What if we took this, let's take all this down. What if we started with a don't pass bet, which I like. We'll take a don't pass bet. We'll do the same thing. We'll do the same exact level. Let me get the bets reset here. So we'll do, sorry if the shadow's in your way here, but the light's turned off. We'll do a $60 6, $60 8, $50 5, quarter in the field for one shot. Okay, we'll take our one shot. Let's just roll it out. I'll randomly roll it. There's a 6 for the point. Again, we're on the don't for a quarter. There's an 8, a hard 8. So that'll pay 70 bucks, right? There's 50, 60, 70. Nope, there's 70 bucks. Lose our quarter. All that comes down. We can take everything down to the rack, including the quarter that we lost. And now what I've got is 25, 45 bucks. That on a point of 6, I could do something like, 30 as don't pass odds, right? So run a strategy, get some extra money so that I can go deep on the odds. Get the extra money so that I can come into the don't come at least once. Let's get a don't come number. That'll go to the 6, which is the point. We lose that, of course, as I'm trying to make a good demonstration here. Let's come back out again. 7. So you win your quarter back. And like that, you're kind of back in the game again. You get your quarter. You can go back to the don't pass now. There's a new point of 5. We'll do another quarter in the don't come. And again, I'm just going to kind of spitball this here. Another 7, so it's even Steven. Of course, I'm rolling from 2 feet away, so you're going to get that. But the point is, let's take that same aggressive iron cross strategy to win $45. I would have gone don't come 8, don't come with 20 to the 9 maybe. And now I've got 1, 2, 3 flat bets on the don't side. Nothing wrong with doing a right side so that strategy to beat the 7 once, to get action on the 7 some other way, right? So my dark side homies out here, Greg and then the others, that works, right? So you don't have to do everything so that you can press to the freaking ceiling. You can do things so that you can go dark, right? And a one hit can't miss type of thing with the iron crosses. Take a hit, go dark with it, boom, right? That could be for sure a way to play. And I've done that exact same thing. I've done so that strategies so that I can go dark. I've done strategies like this, which wins, $45 is enough money to play the come ladder, right? 7 units. I can play the come ladder with that. There's lots of things you can do with a so that strategy as long as you're working backwards and as long as you're okay with taking that initial one hit of risk to see what happens. So I'm seeing a ton of chat here. So I'm going to try and look over here and say, what do we have here? Yeah, you're right. It does matter. I mean, you're right here. Yeah, it does matter because the 7, it takes forever to win your money back. If you do the cross like I did here, and I've got, what do I have out there? 190 or whatever the hell it is. Yeah, if I get whacked on the early 7, you're screwed, right? You're 100% going to get whacked and have to work like a dog to get yourself back there, right? It happened today that I got 6 in a row. 6 in a row, we beat the 7 on the PSO, which is good. But you're right. It's a huge amount of risk. That's why I think, this is why I think Brian does this with the no 4 a lot of time. Brian will play a big no 4 to try and hedge some of that on that one shot. You know how I feel about hedging. Hedging is it's a slow bleed. I'd rather just you cut my damn hand off and I'll figure it out after that than bleed all the way down with those hedges. Those hedges can hurt as much or worse, for sure. All right, so that's see anything over here. Go fund yourself. Yeah, that's right. My new mantra, go fund yourself. That's actually a great idea, Greg, for a t-shirt. I love, one of the things you don't know about me is I've got like a separate little t-shirt shop that I have for my computer program. I have all these like really nerdy t-shirts that I sell. Like you see like the no comment shirt that I wear sometimes. I need some good craps ones. That's a really good one. Go fund yourself is a great craps t-shirt. Yeah, Iron Cross, no rolls are wasted. That's why I like it, Brian. It doesn't waste any rolls. However, as Waylon says, and he's right about this, going out there with the 190, like we're doing here, to get out, you get that PSO, man, that's going to be a tough pill to swallow, unless you've got a ton of bankroll, right? And so Skill will say, funding with more money at risk is not playing wisely. And again, it's stylistic, right? If your desire is to play risk-free, then you got to take 1 or 2 shots at it. You got to get 1 hit to get risk-free at least. You're 44, or you're 66 to 88 to 44. It's 2 hits. You're still at risk for 2 hits for $66. No matter how you strike that, you're still at risk for that amount of money. Here, the risk is 3 times that, but the reward is a 1 hit and you're playing for free. So you got to weigh out the amount of risk versus the time your money's at risk. And I think we forget about the time, right? Folks always forget about the length of time your money's out there working against you. And I think that's a thing that when Greg and I both did the exposure videos, we did them both a couple of times. Exposure comes in so many forms, right? One of the forms is length of time. If it takes you more than 1, more than 2 hits, it's gonna crush you. And Greg, I'm with you here too. In general, I'm against the Iron Cross. And I think we talked about this. I've tried this so many. I've tried to make the Iron Cross work so many times. And my view of the Iron Cross is this. I always go and say, if I'm gonna play the Iron Cross, if I'm gonna do it, a couple of things have to be in play. Number 1, the ratio has to be right. The Iron Cross can work given the right ratio. It's got to be 3 to 1 for sure. Otherwise, it's ridiculous. If you don't go 3-1, you're 100% burning your money. You're going to bleed yourself to death. Here, the bleed is $10 on a loss, right? Here, it's a $35 win up top, and 10 of that goes back to the field. I can handle that amount of bleed. I'm okay with it. The thing with the Iron Cross is you have got to treat it as two strategies. I think this is the thing that I've been saying since I started this channel. The Iron Cross has got to be two strategies. It's got to be, what do I do up here? So again, on that $35 win, I have got to go pick up another number, right? Or I have got to press up a number. Either way, you got to reinvest. The win on the place bets has got to go back to the place bets. The wins in the field, I believe, have got to be parlayed. Or you take the win in the field and you come to the don't. Or if you're playing the Iron Cross from the don't pass, you take your wins and you start building up your odds, right? To me, the field has to fund something else. This is, to me, a so that strategy as well. When I play the Iron Cross, my field wins fund other things. They're either going to fund my don't pass odds, they're going to go into the don't come, or they're going to pick up a new number. Usually I take my field wins and go dark with them because I know what's going to happen. I take my field wins and I go dark almost all the time. I love to fund with my field wins that don't come because I feel like that's a good thing. I take my inside bets and I press them or I spread them. And again, I'm using my insides so that, and after 2 or 3 hits of the Iron Cross, I'm out. Like it's 2 field wins, 2 don't comes, or it's 2 or 3 field hits and I'm up and out, then I go away. And that's how I play that for sure. The Iron Cross, for sure, yeah, Brian, Greg, I think you're right. Over time, it underperforms. I think if you play it right, if you reinvest the winnings in the proper way, it has no wasted rolls. It has wasted money. So you're going to burn some cash, but you can do things with it. If you're smart with the cash, you're going to be okay, I think. So anyway, that's it. I love the discussion or skill. And Greg, I'm going to challenge you, Greg, because you're watching. Greg has said on his channel he has the smartest audience in craps, and I'm telling you, you might be right, but I look at our chat every day here, and I'm seeing stuff like this, and that's math that I can't understand. Like 67 to what is it again? 67. This is your to do a 154 inside, 1 regress. Sure. I mean, that's advanced math, right? You have to think about that, though, Dylan, and remember that if you're going to do this, you've got to absolutely know those numbers. What am I going to do? What is it going to pay? Where does it go? 555 craps. Yes, my Butterberg. So here's another one. I'll do it. I'll do a Butterberg right now. Because we have time. It's Friday. Who the hell cares? You guys aren't going anywhere. Let's go to the table. Let's go to this table view. Actually, one of my favorite strategies, and this is a strategy that actually 2 people kind of run variations of it. And I want to leave you the weekend with this. You should practice this, everybody. This is such a fun way to play. The Butterberg strategy that Dan Tannen puts out, he's actually in the middle of a series right now where he's doing the Butterberg project. And the way he plays it, I'm going to show you the way that he plays it. I play it differently than him, a slight different way. And I'll show you what he does. He plays it at a super high level. He does $100 pass, $100 don't pass. He's trying to beat the come out roll. And then he places every number with 120 and the 6 and the 8, okay? And his plan is this. Let's beat the come out roll, right? He beats the come out roll. The point's going to be 4. What he then does, because he knows that the 0.7 out is a thing, he turns the bets off. I don't have an off button with me. Where's my off buttons? Here they are. He turns the bets off for 1 roll to try and beat the 0.7 out. Waste the roll, but that's okay. In his mind, that's fine. And then what he does is he goes on odds. He'll take 6x odds every single, I might have missed that. 6 times odds on the don't pass every single time. 6x odds here, and here in the middle, every hit just comes down and he's covered. There's the 7. So on a 4, we lose money here. That actually pays $300. He gets paid 1 flat, but he loses the pass line, so that's actually a wash. Then he gets paid $300 for his 600, but he's got 640 out here. So you lose on that. The quick 7 out like that, you end up losing on it. But let me play it out without that. I'm going to show you what he does here. Let's say we didn't 7 out. Take the off button off. I got another 7, really. Let's get some numbers. 2, All right, there's a 9. So what he'll do with the 9 is he'll take his 140 win, 25, there's 140, and the number, and they come down. And you start working your way down out of all your bets, okay? So there's the 9, there's another 9, which now you're off it, you don't get paid on it. There's an 8. Again, the 8 pays 140, 125, 140, and it comes down. So you start working your bets down, and by the time you get your third bet down, you're in profit. The way that works, fantastic, fantastic strategy. Now he does it again with a big set of odds on the don't pass. What I do with this is a little bit different. I don't hedge the come out that way. Let's put the bets back up. Let's go 120. Okay. I don't hedge the bets. I just go straight don't. And what I actually do here is if I'm doing it at this level, I'm probably going $300 on the don't, which seems like an awful lot. And again, I'm doing it because I'm in black chips already. If you do this with greens and greens, it's the same idea. And what I'll do with this is as I take my hits, let's go ahead and roll this out. There's a, well, let's not take the 7 into account here. Let's just roll to show my way here. There's an 11, it doesn't matter. All right, there's a 6. So on the 6, we'll take our 140, just like he did, right? We'll take the 125, take our 140, and the 6 money to the rack. We'll pull that one down. There's an 8, same thing. 140, and the 8 comes down. Now, at this point, I've taken 2 hits off the table. I take one of these back. And I stake the next time, let's say the 5 or the 9, let's just say they both come out. Let's get some reds over here. As those pay, so there's the 5, comes down and gets paid 140. Let's say the 9 gets paid 140, 125, 140. The next 2 hits, another one comes back. And I work my way down to where I've got nothing on the table. This strategy to me goes down to 0. We get down to nothing on the table. That's the way I play it, with a straight don't, nope. I don't do the do we don't. And as I take 2 hits, I pull a part of my don't. I take 2 hits, pull part of the don't. On the last hit of the 4 and the 10, it all comes back to my rack and I'm done. And I'm done. I wash my hands and I'm out of here. That's how I kind of wind the whole table to 0. This is a strategy that's built for a 7 roll hand. It's built for 7 box numbers and you're out. The other option with this is to take the Butterberg system and do this with it, which is kind of fun. Let's do this. Let's go with don't pass again. And I haven't written him about this as an option, but I think he might like this. This is a play on Larry Kasper's I can't believe this win strategy. And I think the Butterberg and that strategy are very close in terms of what they're trying to do. But check this out as a so that. What if you had the don't pass here, and on these wins, let's say that the 6 wins for 140 or 120, 140, right? 25, 140. You rack the black, don't come the 40. And it goes to the 8. 8 pays 125, 140, right? You can rack the black and put the rest in the don't come, right? Always pull your blacks down and put your don't come, your $40 that you just won, or your 60, I guess. You take the cap plus the 40 and put 60 here and let it go to the 9 or something. So take your wins from the Butterberg, rack the black, put the rest in the don't come. And that way you're transitioning, and again, it's a so that, right? You're doing a short-term strategy so that you can rack black and move into the don't come. I love that. I think that's one of my favorite ways to play. This is a thing that I do a lot of times. And I didn't do it this past time when I was going to get back over here. Go back to the strategy board. I didn't play it this way in Vegas the last time because I was trying other things out. I was really, when I was in Vegas last time, I focused so hard on the back wall lay to see how that worked live. But this is a fun way to play. And again, you reduce everything down until you're at 0, and then you start doing don't comes. I think it's pretty fun. I love it. To me, it's skill and luck. You cracking me up, man. The Butterberg is not necessary. 154 inside, the 44 saves time. It hits most of the money. To me, it's the Butterberg. To me, is a fun play. The trick to it is the don't come has got to be enough to make it make sense when you lose, right? You've got to. I think the reason why he does it with the big set of odds is to cover his place bets. I'll take a little bit of a risk there, but I'll work it backwards. So I put 600 up and 300 on the don't. So it's not a perfect coverage, but it's coverage enough to kind of give me 2 or 3 hits. I think it's a fun way to play, and I'm going to go ahead and run that out. Maybe next week, what I'll do is I'll run that in one of the strategy kind of every day and to sort of see how we do. But I think it's fun. I think that's a fun way to play. And like I said, so many rolls are between 2 and 7. It's like, just get out of there. Find a way to get the hell out, because getting to inside and trying to press this to the sky works once every 50 shooters, it seems like. So that's it on the Butterberg. So thanks, Greg, for reminding me to throw it out there. I think it's a fun strategy. And I definitely, and I'm going to put his site up here. I think definitely do this. Get to Dan Tana's website. I think he's got, what does he have, Greg? Like 11 subscribers or something? It's really low. He's got a very low subscriber count. He doesn't put a lot of content out there, but he's the thinker. And you'll love his table. He's got this table that he built himself, and it's like he painted it himself. The artwork, I think he did all the art. It's really cool. It's an interesting looking table, and he's a fun guy to listen to and watch play. And I like the strategy. I think it's cool. I always liked, like I said, Larry Kaspar's I Can't Believe It Wins strategy, because it's the same idea. Take your wins, go to the don't with it. Butterberg is take your wins and go to the rack with it. I think in either case, there's money to be made there. And I think it's a interesting, fun way to play. It doesn't require a lot of brain power, and just do your thing. And it's a so that strategy. So it works for today's lesson, right? It's a so that strategy. Anyway, I'm going to end the broadcast so that I can go to work. I think that's the right way to get out of here today. I see Greg. Dan Tana is rolling daily. He's doing the Butterberg project. So he's doing it every single day, which is great. Anyway, so that's cool. Yeah, thanks, Patty, for subbing him. He's a good guy. Have a good weekend, all. I've got tonight, for those of you who are going to be part of the fundraiser, we're going to do a Zoom call. I'm going to try and do it at maybe 4 o'clock Pacific time to kind of get everybody set up on the technology. And next week will be a nice light week. I'm just going to probably roll and talk. I'm not going to do a lot of teaching next week. Next week's going to be just roll some strategies out, talk through some things, and going to practice up for getting to the live show, the big live show on the weekend. So I have not seen Ken's latest video, Waylon. I don't know what he did here. Was this the aggressive don't one? I'm not sure if that's what it is. I saw the title. I just haven't watched it. I haven't had time. So, Ocam, thank you for acknowledging, and thank you for watching. I love this. This is so much fun every single day to do this. And I may be wrong on some of the things that I propose, like, the Iron Cross, whatever. I don't care. It's fun. I love the fact that skill is persistent about saying, I just showed one hit and you have all your money back plus profit. Great. That's amazing. Why don't you, I know we're in chat here and it's probably a mile back in the chat. Just drop me a quick email and I can make that part of Mondays. So that's it, you guys. Have a great weekend. Be safe. If you go to the casinos, good luck. Everybody else, God bless you. Jalen Pine, it's gotten more complex as the days go by. Sure. I think that a danger of this is that we start thinking too much, right? You can definitely overthink it. And I think that's what I said Monday was keep it simple. Sometimes the simplest things are the best things. Sometimes a little bit of complexity gets you to safety. And I think, it's like Frogger a little bit, right? It might be the hardest path across the road, but you're safe. Sometimes these so that's can be complex, but also pretty safe. So anyway, that's it. Zoff, thank you for that. I will see you all on Monday. Have a good weekend. Good luck. God bless y'all.